What's up, beautiful family? How are you all doing out there? How is your week doing? We're on day 2 of our week on our creator's calendar, and we hope that I hope that you guys are doing fantastic. I hope you guys are emboldened in the scriptures. I hope that you guys are emboldened in your life. I hope you guys are complete savages when it comes to kingdom warriors. Those guys that look different, taste different, feel different. I hope that we are all these people that are serving our Elohim with every last being of our heart, mind, and soul. And as we are doing this, it's a work of art in ourselves. It is something that as we are working through the Torah, we have to resculpt the self that we ever had before, because a lot of times we have sculpted ourselves to where we don't quite align with the people of the kingdom to come. Sometimes we come out of Babylon and we're still watching television programming and all these advertisements and all of this stuff that is very, very unhealthy and very unkodesh. And some of us have still continued on letting our children watch this. Some of us have gone rogue and letting our kids gone crazy with technology, and all of a sudden TikTok is now their new god. There's a lot of things where we have sculpted ourselves in a wrong direction, where we come to the understanding that if we want to participate in the kingdom to come, then the kingdom to come people are based upon the first 5 books of scriptures. Those are the qualifications and the guideline for a world that we should embrace ourselves into right now, which is the Torah life, and a world that we will be judged by, which is the Torah, and a world to come, which is the kingdom to come, which is going to be governed under the hand of our Messiah Yahushua. No J's in Hebrew. His name is not Jesus. We will be governed under his hand, under his rule, using his father's, his dad's ways, his laws, statutes, and commandments. So it is going to be an ultimate, amazing world when the people of the kingdom are all under one governance. Right now, all of us we're all sporadic. We're all scattered all over the place. Some of us are on the wrong calendar. Some of us on the right calendar. Some of us are here and there. And it's a mess. There is a lot of mess when it comes down to all of this stuff. And the only way that we're ever going to get out of this mess is we need a real Levite. And we need a Levitical priest. We need a Melchizedek priest. We need somebody who's qualified enough to say, hey, guys, you guys were close, but not quite. This is how we should do it. This is how it is. And we will start sculpting ourselves to the understanding that our Messiah, Yahushua, will give us all of this understanding. And so as a Torah-based people that is out there, we need to come together to those that are in Torah, right? There's going to be a lot of people with a lot of different calendars and a lot of different situations. But does the bottom line say that the laws, statutes, and commandments should be the very most important thing in our lives? If that is a message, then it should be a unified message that is something that we're not all going to get these calendars. And we still have people that are skipping around with Shabbats. Sometimes they'll do an 8-day Shabbat, and then because of their calendar changes, things like that. And I can't find that not breaking commandments. And so I don't think it's not a problem, because we are guided by what we believe, by what we've read, what our understanding is, what we know at the time. And sometimes we get new information. Sometimes we get that little light that pops on. Sometimes we're like, oh, how could this be if this is this way? And you start delving deeper, right? So it's no reason to ever throw axes and to disqualify those who are truly talking and teaching Torah. And so as we get into this week, I hope you guys are rocking and rolling. I hope you guys are alive and well and full of the Ruach HaKodesh, and that you guys are reading your scriptures. and you're reading your scriptures every single day, as our scriptures and as Deuteronomy talks, we should be having the Torah involved in all aspects of our lives, our families' lives. There should be something in every marriage that if you want a marriage to be super strong, super tight, super efficient, then you all read scriptures as a family at night. You start in Genesis and you read just one chapter and you guys talk about it and say, hey man, what's up with this and that, and run it as a family and get everyone's opinion. And then we move on, pray and send everyone off to bed. That is something that you can definitely do and change if you guys aren't doing it out there right now. It is a beautiful reading. So let's get into our reading today. This is Yah Scriptures. Guys, this is the greatest English translation you will have. There's a free version of it at yahscriptures.com. There's several different free versions of it. And so just go to Yah Scriptures, put a .com at the end of Yah Scriptures, and click on downloads. And under downloads, this is all free. This is also a limited edition that you have before you, and the paperback small version is on its way very, very, very soon as well. We're blasting off through this, trying to get this thing rolling, but you would have no idea how much work there is in these different manuscripts, especially changing sizes. It is crazy. So guys, this is the very last book in the book of Yah Scriptures. It is a book that should be in and around somewhere like Matthew, Mark, Luke, Khalidi, John, somewhere in there. This is our Messiah as he walks with the people, with his disciples, as he gets questions, the same kind of questions that you and I have, the same kind of issues that you and I could possibly get in our lives. And so it is amazing to hear what our Creator's Son has to say. And the reason that the Trinity is a bust, it has always been a bust. The Son of the Most High was involved in the realm that the Most High was in. And so you had Father, Yahuwah, Son, Yahushua, and you have their world, right? Whatever their world is in whatever realm, one day maybe we'll understand it. But the point is that our Messiah was with his dad before creation, and his dad knows the Torah because he wrote the Torah, and so the Son has lived under the hands of the Torah all his life. So as our Messiah is speaking through these books, it's amazing to hear this because sometimes we get a lot of clarity where we don't have clarity. All right, so here we are, 1534. When eventide came and Yahushua sat with the emissaries, one of them said, Adonai, we have given up all. We have to follow you. And sometimes we get depressed. It's pretty valid, right? There's a lot said. Messiah has talked a tremendous amount about the sacrifice that one has to be to truly lay down everything and follow our Creator's Son. Excuse me. I still got this hack. Okay. So they get depressed, right? Same as us, right? We walk through the week. Sometimes we fall into depression. Depression is one of these things that I definitely think it's based upon unclean spirits. I believe there's something about this. But Messiah says this. Yahushua said, the blows life delivers are strengthening ones, and without adversity, men would become weak in ruach. The reward I can offer is small compared with your rewards in glory. For here you are small, but in the Shamaim you will be great. There the highest on earth shall be lowest, and the lowest here shall be exalted there. This, however, does not follow as a natural sequence, but only providing the challenge of life is met as it should be and surmounted. All right, lots of stuff to take in, right? Number one, Messiah says the blows life are delivering are things that make us stronger, right? We were not put here not to be challenged. We are put here to establish a resume that we will be using to get into the kingdom of our Creator, right? We're here to establish a credit line that will be used based upon what glory is going to look like. And so as we are tested, as we are drugged through the proverbial knothole, and we feel like the effects of that, that's a good thing. That means we are worthy to be tested, and it means that there's a lot of great things, right? when we are under the direct affliction of Hasatan really trying to put the boots to us, we should be glad that we have the attention of such an evil demon that he wants to hurt us. And according to the book of Revelation, that's what he does. He's that much of a bully. There's words I can't use. To describe this guy. He's not a good guy, and so when he's after us, that's a good thing, and we have to understand that we do have supernatural protection. We do have a direct lifeline to our Creator, which is called prayer. So in adversity, it is amazing to pop it up into the hands of our Creator and see what happens. And there's just miracle after miracle after miracle that I've seen, and it has happened because of adversities that we were into, that we had to scream out to our Creator for help. And fires are put out, things are done in a miraculous fashion, just amazing stuff. Continuing on, Messiah says to the people, because right there, these guys have dropped everything they have to follow our Messiah, and they're depressed. And Messiah says, hey, what I have to offer is really, really, really small. And it's what you're going to do in the kingdom to come that is great, right? How much of our time are we working on the things of the kingdom, or how much of the time are we working on the things of us? How much are we sculpting ourselves to be whatever it is we want to be? Or how much are we aligning ourselves and looking in the mirror of the Torah and just realigning our sculpture to fit the kingdom, right? Lots of things to be heard here, right? And then Messiah continues on, and that says again, the highest on earth shall be lowest, and the lowest here shall be the exalted there. And we're not talking about a short amount of time, guys. We're talking about eternity. And I know it's really, really hard to fathom because it's a very, very, very long time. But I don't think we're going to be sitting on clouds, playing harps and things like this. I believe there is a world to come, a kingdom to come. I think there are big plans. I don't think look at how complex this world is. When imagine after this particular section is done, and the Hasatan has been wiped out, and the people of the kingdom are hanging out. Imagine what our Creator will do next. Imagine what the next thing he could do that we could potentially be involved in, that because of our loyalty, we are esteemed, that we will get the job done. There's going to be stuff going on. These guys don't just sit and play their harps and do absolutely nothing. Just like the very first commandment is from our Creator that he has ever gave us is to be fruitful. And if you look at creation, there is nothing more fruitful than creation. It is absolutely out of this world. Being in the jungle, living in the jungle, I see hundreds, if not thousands and thousands and thousands of different kinds of trees and bushes and thorns and thistles and plants that will literally kill you. If you don't see them and you walk into them, they will stab right through every bit of clothing you have all the way into your skin, and then the burning begins. These things will mess you up. It's just part of the jungle. It's how the jungle lives, and it breathes and establishes, and it works real good. I'm the only foreigner in the jungle, which, it is as it should be. But the creation never ends, and it's a miraculous thing. And so we want to be on the side of our Creator. Then Messiah finishes this, and he says, this does not follow as a natural sequence, but only providing the challenge of life is met as it should be and surmounted. Okay, basically this says you're not going to get the greatest in the Shamayim unless that you are rolling through the challenges, if you are being part of the kingdom. Part of the challenges of this world is to get to know our Creator and his Son in an intimate way. And when we only have half of the book, and we don't have any of the understanding of the beautiful words that our Creator has established and given to us to live by and to dominate our lives by, which is a great thing, we're missing out. And so that's a big challenge right there. A lot of people will never ever come into to Torah. My mom, I've worked for years and years and years. I'm convinced she's just a very, very happy Christian. She's going to die a Christian, eating her unclean food and worshiping a Messiah, Paul, and a person named Jesus, who is, according to them, lawless and has just come to save everybody by grace no repercussions, right? There's nothing you need to do. You don't need to reciprocate anything. You just get saved. The magical rapture bus is coming to save everybody, even though 100% of scriptures denies all of that. As you read through the beginning of the book to all the way to the end of the book, it never ever worked like this, right? When the disobedient children of Israel continued to be disobedient, they all got thrown into captivity, right? Even to this day, there's 10 tribes, according to prophecy, that are out there dispersed among the world. And these tribes, at the end of times, are all going to come into this Torah. We're all going to go, whoa, whoopee, look at this, look at the Torah, this is amazing, great, hunky-dory, we love it, we're embracing it, we're taking it, and this is the road to riches, right? This is the road to riches, and forget this world. So we must get these challenges of life met in the eyes of the Torah, and then surmounted and surpass them, right? Make sure that we can get from this, that we understand the biblical hermeneutics of the principles of the scriptures is that the laws, statutes, and commandments have been established for all time, for all generations, for all people, for all nations, creeds, colors, anybody. There's only one Torah for the stranger, and there's only one Torah for the native, and it's all the same Torah. If you want to serve the Elohim, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then it begins on the first page of Genesis, and we have all the scriptures to back up what the first 5 books of scriptures say. Continuing on, 36. The following day, Yahushua took Kepha, Jacob, and Yochanan, 3 of the emissaries, to a cave high up on the mountainside, where they remained in meditation for 3 days. On the 3rd day, while seated in the cave, the others saw the whole body of Yahushua exude a light and become radiant, the colors being blue and white. They were astonished at such an inflow of power, for no other body could have contained it. Though manifesting in them also, it was much weaker. The 3, with Yahushua, covered their eyes before the brilliance. So we know this story, right? This is I believe this is Sukkot. I believe this might be the Sukkot. This might be a different this time. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. 37. And Yochanan said, Adonai, while the Ruach HaKodesh manifests in us as no more than a faint blue glow seen only in total darkness, Yahushua, our brilliance, is like that of the sun compared with the palest star. And I don't know what that word is. It's I don't know if that's actually a typo or what is that. I need to look at that. I think and I think it's only in this app, our little app here, but I need to look. So continuing on, they could see our Creator's Son, so much power of the Ruach HaKodesh that he's emitting a blue and white glow. And when you read the Apocrypha, it's really crazy because Moshe ended up with a Noah. Actually, Noah was the one that was radiating white. Like Noah's dad was tripping out because he thought his wife had like the kid of the fallen, and so he was just like, oh man. But this is the Ruach HaKodesh, and this is the strength of the power of the Ruach HaKodesh. And the Ruach HaKodesh is essentially the arm. It is the lifeblood of our Creator that's circulating through everything. When people talk about the Matrix, the Ruach HaKodesh is kind of the Matrix. It's flowing in and around us at all things, at all times. It is part of our makeup. And when we are close to our Creator, we get stronger in the Ruach HaKodesh. And this is how we get strong in the Spirit. And, it begins by serving our Creator in Torah, in word and deed, right? It's not simply just memorizing the Torah and understanding the Torah and knowing the Torah, but walking the Torah, not letting ourselves be evil in any regard, not letting ourselves have these unclean thoughts and unclean things that we used to be part of. 38. Kepha said, "It is good for us to have seen this, for now we know how poorly we compare with you." Yahushua said, "I do not teach things without purpose. The things I do are not beyond the reach of anyone. But keep these things to yourselves. I shall truly need all makia, power, and strength to carry out the task ahead. What must be done will be done, not as I want it, but as the Father wants it. For now, I know the path I must follow and the ordeal I must undergo." Okay, big things, right? Every time that we hear the words of our Messiah, we need to understand this is the king of the kingdom to come. This is the individual that was purposed and put in place that he would be able to be a wonderful king. This is the king that we want right here, right? Unlike King David, who was able to be corrupted, unlike King Saul that was able to be corrupted, unlike all these horrible kings of all of these times of Yisrael on both sides of the northern tribe and the southern tribe, they were all horrible. Now we have a king, and this king is telling us stuff. And what he's telling us right here is that he's not teaching without purpose. And he's also telling us right here that the Trinity is a bust. And he's also telling us that he does not want to go through the torture to the death that his dad is wanting him to go through. This is not something he would choose. Nobody's going to choose this. Nobody's going to be chosen to be tossed into the hands of the criminally killing Romans, right? If you're looking for a just a bloodthirsty batch of killing machines, it was these guys back in the day. This is not what you would want to go into. And so he goes, this is not. And, those who believe in the Trinity, it must be very confusing when you hear what must be done will be done, not as I want it, but as the Father wants it. And then he goes, for now I know the path I must follow and the ordeal I must undergo. It sounds really depressing, right? This is not a good time. This is not a good life that our Messiah leads, knowing that his end is going to be a very torturous, deadly end. Terrible, terrible end. Sorry for my dogs. I don't know why. That sounds like Joshua. They're in the other room, but they still are real loud. Okay, continuing on. Coming down from the mountain, Yahushua saw some Talmidim and two emissaries in the midst of the crowd, which parted to let Yahushua through. He found the emissaries trying to heal a man who was deaf and dumb, but they could not, and the crowd was mocking them. Then Yahushua said, "The man's ears are not fast, neither is the tongue without speech, but the Ruach within cannot use them." Huge stuff, right? This is why we want our Messiah. This is why we want Messiah Yahushua. This is why we want to hear the words welcome and not depart from me, you who work Torahlessness. You who are don't give a rip about my dad's commandments. Now we don't give a rip about you. Now continuing on, this is very interesting, right? There's something his emissaries were trying to wield the Ruach HaKodesh. They were trying to heal in the name probably of our Messiah, probably just calling out to Yah, trying to do this. It didn't work out. So these people were obviously being mocked. Now, 42 says this, "Thereupon he strengthened the Ruach of the afflicted man with his, and the man fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth and tearing at himself. Then the crowd drew back from Yahushua in fear, while the man's father abused him. But soon the man on the ground arose and walked away, and he could both hear and talk." All right, lots of stuff to say, right? This was, if you could see a visual of everything that is happening that our Messiah dealt with, this is just one particular incident on a day. I bet his entire day was all full of crazy madness, just like this. And this is not a good life, right? This is everybody's yelling at everybody, right? First of all, our Messiah's disciples were all a laughing stock of these people. And then Messiah let them know that he's not deaf and he can speak just fine. But there's something within him that's all jacked up. And so he heals him, and like an exorcism or something, this guy falls to the ground, foaming, right? He's foaming at the mouth, tearing at himself, screaming, and everybody's tripping out, right? The crowd drew back. And you have Yahushua and you have this guy, and he's on the ground. Everybody's just really getting the heck out of there. And then the guy's dad is sitting there yelling at him, just yelling. The people are freaking out. Everybody's kind of yelling, murmuring. This guy's like, "Look what you did to my kid." And his kid's writhing on the ground. And then all of a sudden, the dude rose, walked away, and he could both hear and talk. So then everybody probably just stood there, and the silence was probably deafening. And I don't know if the dad said, "I'm sorry" to Yahushua. I don't know if he said, I'm so sorry. I don't know how many they ever did it, these guys, but he obviously deserved a sorry. Continuing on, 43. Later, the Talmudim asked Yahushua why he had succeeded when they had failed. And he said, these things are done through the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the hand of Yahuwah. Men have it according to their capacity to hold it. But before it can come in, evil must be driven out. I do not teach abstinence from evil for some purposeless end, but to bring to men the recognition of their heritage. All men were once sons of Elohim, but they became illegitimate sons of Elohim without heritage. I come to men so they may re-inherit and become the true sons of Elohim. Big stuff right here. Huge, absolutely astounding verse right here. The disciples were jacked up. They like, why couldn't we get this done? Messiah explains to us the power of healing, right? If you want the power of healing, you must drive all evil out of your life. If you want the Ruach HaKodesh, the strength, the power of the creator of the universe to just influx your life, then you absolutely have to drive out evil. And the better we get at this, the more pure we get, the stronger things will be. And so Messiah says something very astounding here as well. He says he does not teach abstinence from evil for some purposeless end, right? So our message that we have is abstinence from evil. How do we know what evil is? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's the first 5 books of scriptures. That's how we know what evil is and how we should conduct ourselves. And so Messiah says that it's to bring men to the recognition of their heritage. Oh, heritage. Great. What does this mean? Well, it's our understanding that we are all children of Elohim if only we will listen to his voice and serve him in all his respect and all his avenues and all his statutes. Everything that you find in scriptures is beautiful and it is good. When read in context, it is all pure and it is all Kodesh. But you can't read the end without the first. And if you think that you can walk through life without clearly understanding the first, you will get burned. You will end up messed up. And when you look back with the 20/20 hindsight, you will recognize very clearly that a lot of the problems and the issues that we have in life, had we been astute Torah people grabbing our heritage of our family to come and the lineage that we should be, which is children of the Most High. So this is how we go from being illegitimate. Right now, most of us have come out of Babylon. We've come out of a Torah-less world. We didn't have rules. We didn't have regulations. In the Christian religion, I was just a law-breaking, happy-go-lucky, rapture-waiting Gentile, right? Just a rager, straight-up rager. Watching TV, watching movies, going to Sunday worship, going to all of the pagan holidays at this so-called thing with a phallus of Nimrod as the steeple and all of these things. And I thought I was real saved. I thought I was so dadgum saved that I was out saving other people. I was out there like, oh yeah, that's the count, right? That's the Christian count. How many people can you get saved at a vacation Bible school? How many people can you get saved at Christian church camp? How many people are you saving, right? That's their scorecard. The old Billy Graham crusade, Satanist Billy Graham, always out there saving all these people at their crusades. But what are you saving them from? When you tell people there's another way other than straight up Torah, you're not saving anybody from anything. In fact, you've doomed a tremendous amount of people to hell, and it's not going to be a good eternity for all of these fake teachers and preachers and pastors and people that are deceivers, willingly or not willingly. Because if you are in there and you're holding the word of our Creator and it is all of the books, then you are saying things like the laws are dead. You're unqualified to even hold this book. You need to put it down and you need to read it. Put it on your lap and start reading this thing. And then when you actually have the right message that comes out of the book, that's where you're qualified. Right now, you're not. And so, guys, to become legitimate sons of Elohim with heritage, we need to become law keepers. We need to realize that our Messiah came and he did it, and he's told us that the Torah can be done. If you love me, keep my commands. Since Messiah just said he did not come in his own volition, is not doing this, whose volition is he coming into? Whose commands are he following? Whose commands are his commands? It's his dad's. His dad's commands that Messiah knew and grew up with is what he is qualified to explain all of this to us. And so I think this is I think we'll end this right here, because I think that's absolutely huge. I think it's a big thing. How to become legitimate children of the Most High. And the way of religion, of any so-called religion, is not correct. Unless your focus is upon a set of scriptures that you have that you're supposed to be governing your life with, then you have the wrong message of the scriptures. There's one way to the kingdom. It is through the Torah. It is through our Elohim Most High. It is through the amazing work that our Creator has done to bring us scriptures that we can have in these days and times, that we can articulate and figure out and read through and not be lazy, and write on our hearts, minds, and souls, and become valid, legitimate children of the kingdom of Elohim. So guys, with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a wonderful week until we can meet again. Big hugs to you all. Much love. I'm out.